Let's take a look at one of the top 4 queen traps in the Scandinavian defense. In this opening, black starts by challenging the center with the move d5 after white plays e4. This opening is commonly known as the Scandinavian defense. Many players, as a mistake, respond with knight to f3. Black captures the pawn, and then white responds with knight to g5. The original idea behind playing knight to f3 first was to enable white to attack back the captured pawn on e4 with the knight by moving it to g5. Additionally, this knight on g5 puts pressure on the weak f7 square in black's territory, creating potential threats. If black gets greedy and tries to hold onto the pawn by playing knight to f6, white can play d3, luring black to capture another pawn on e4. Since black now has double pawns on the e-file and wants to get rid of the e4 pawn desperately, he might capture the pawn on d3. White can then recapture with his bishop. With the pressure mounting on black's h7 pawn, black might make the blunder of playing h6. This move becomes a blunder because it allows white to execute the brilliant move knight takes f7 check. If black captures back the knight with his king, he will immediately lose his queen after white plays bishop to g6 check. Because of the bishop's check, the king is unable to retreat and protect the queen. Consequently, the only viable option for the king is to capture the bishop, leading to the subsequent loss of the black queen on the following move. In summary, this sequence of moves creates a devastating trap for black, leading to the loss of their queen. Let's explore the second trap in the Scandinavian defense. After the moves e4 and d5, white decides to take the d5 pawn with pawn takes pawn, leading to queen takes pawn, bringing the queen out early. Then, white plays knight to c3, which is a tempo-gaining move, as it simultaneously develops a piece while attacking black's queen. White can continue developing another minor piece, with knight to f3 and prepare for a quick castle. However, if black makes the mistake of playing bishop to g4, intending to pin white's knight to the queen, white can respond with h3. If black captures the knight, white can recapture with the queen, attacking the weak b7 pawn and setting up a potential trap. To counter this, black might try to block the attack by playing knight to c6, which seems like a reasonable move, developing a piece and defending against the queen's attack. But this move is a mistake because white can now pin the knight to the king with bishop to b5. The pinned knight on c6 will be double attacked by white's pieces and protected only once by black's pieces. If black responds with queen to b6, trying to maintain control over the pinned knight, white can still shock black by playing knight to d5. This move attacks the queen and targets the weak c7 pawn, setting up a potential fork. The queen will move to a5 to escape the attack, but now white can trap the opponent's queen by playing b4. If black captures the b4 pawn with the queen, thinking it's protected by a knight, white can play knight to c7 check. The black king will move to d8, and the queen is now lost, leading to a significant advantage for white. This trap can be quite surprising and effective, catching the opponent off guard. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel to learn more cool traps like this one. Now, let's move on to the third trap in the Scandinavian defense. After the moves e4 and d5, white plays pawn takes pawn, and then queen takes pawn. Next, white plays knight to c3, attacking the black queen, which moves to a5. White then employs a very interesting move, b4, gambiting a pawn to activate the rook on the b-file and open up lines for the dark-squared bishop. If black fails to grasp this idea and greedily captures the pawn on b4, white can play knight to b5, threatening to fork black's pieces. To protect the weak c7 pawn, the black queen will likely move to a5. However, black doesn't realize that they are walking into white's trap. White then plays bishop c4, targeting the weak f7 pawn. In response, black might play c6, which is the most popular move in this position, played by thousands of players. Unfortunately, c6 is a blunder. White seizes this opportunity to play bishop takes f7 check. If black captures the bishop with the king, white can attack the king with the queen, playing queen h5 check. Black may try to block the check with g6, but this move leads to the loss of black's queen. White can then deliver a winning move, knight to d6, putting the black king in check while leaving a discovered attack on the black queen. After pawn takes knight and queen takes queen, white emerges victorious in the game. It's important to note that there may be other possible variations in this trap, and black might not play exactly as shown here. To understand and explore what happens in other variations, stay tuned for my video that will cover the Scandinavian defense topic in detail. Let's now explore the fourth trap in the Scandinavian defense, where we'll see how you can trap the white queen. The game starts with e4 and d5, followed by pawn takes pawn. Instead of bringing out your queen to capture the pawn, you should play knight to f6, attacking the white pawn with your knight. White might respond with d4, to which you should capture the pawn. Then, white might play c4, attacking your knight and gaining a tempo. Instead of retreating your knight back to f6, which would be a mistake, you should move it to b4. However, it's essential to note that this trap might not be as effective against grandmasters or highly experienced chess players, so use it with caution against stronger opponents. To protect your knight and block white's potential trick with queen to a4, you should move your knight to c6. White will likely play a3 to attack your knight again. White play d5, attacking your pinned knight. In response, you can play knight to c5, attacking white's queen. White might want to maintain the pin on your knight and go for winning it with a pawn move, so they'll likely play queen to b5. But here comes the trap. You can play e5, opening up lines for your dark-squared bishop and providing defense to your attacked knight. White might capture your knight with pawn takes knight, seemingly winning the knight for free. However, after careful examination, white's queen is essentially trapped on the side of the board, having access only to two squares, a4 and b4. But you can take away those squares as well. To do this, play b6, threatening to trap the white queen completely. If white moves the queen to b4, they lose because you can play knight to d3 check, with a discovered attack on the queen. If white captures your knight with the bishop, you can then play bishop takes queen, winning the game for black. If white chooses to stay in place and play any other developing move, such as bishop to e3, knight to d2, or knight to c3, none of these moves will aid white's position. This is because, regardless of the chosen move, black can still launch an attack on white's queen using the move a6. As a result, the queen becomes trapped and cannot be rescued any longer. This trap showcases how a seemingly losing situation for black turns into a successful trap for the opponent's queen. Now, it's time for a puzzle. In the given position, it's white's turn, and you need to find the best move for white. Share your answers in the comments, and let's see how many of you can solve it correctly. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with future videos. Take a moment to check out the other videos appearing on your screen right now. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care and peace.